All right, what's up, Hauppauge High School? This is actually the third video of the day already, and which is exciting. But we have our morning meeting, our typical morning meeting. It is May 1st. May 1st. Pretty cool. Feeling like the world is a little brighter right now. Things are getting better here in Suffolk County related to the coronavirus or COVID-19. We're making some headway on getting this thing out of here, which is good and exciting. Today's also exciting for a couple reasons. We have decision day today broadly across the country. It is a chance for students, seniors, to recognize kind of what their plans are after high school. We talk a lot about our role being to empower students to tell their stories personally, professionally, and academically, socially as well. And kind of use high school as a chance to prepare themselves for the world beyond high school. And we're pretty serious about that. And so we're excited today to figure out how to recognize our students and have a couple of ways in which we will do that. Put out a special announcement just a few minutes ago, and I imagine that you will see that. So before we get going here today, really special guest. We have one Geronima Maura-Rayo here today to talk to us a little bit about her. One of our Spanish teachers we feel grateful to have on the show as a special guest here this morning. But let's have everybody come on and say hello. We'll start with Geronima. Go for it. Come on and say hello.
Buenos días. Gracias por escuchar este video del 1 de mayo.
Excellent. Excellent. The 1st of May. That's what I got from that. Joe.
Buenos dias, Hauppauge. Happy Friday.
Good stuff. Joy.
Buongiorno, Hauppauge. Ayoshi.
Christy.
I feel compelled to use another language. So, like, buongiorno, good morning, Hauppauge. We miss you.
Excellent. Maria.
I said guten morgen, so we have different languages. Guten morgen. I'm changing my hello.
I only can do Italian. I could try Spanish, but
it usually takes us a few minutes to fall apart. We're 30 seconds in. Maria.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sticking to English. I hope everybody's going to have a great weekend. The weather's supposed to be absolutely fantastic. And I don't know. They said it was supposed to be raining. Like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day.
Good stuff. All right, correspondence.
Wait a second. We're going to say bonjour so the French don't feel left out.
Okay. I think that's fair. Good stuff. So we got German, French, Spanish. We hit all the languages that we teach at Hauppauge High School. Though there are many other languages spoken in Hauppauge High School, I just don't know how to say hello in each of them. But hello to everybody. We're very inclusive here. Let's come on in. Joe, sports. Take it away.
Good morning. So today's Jort Report is brought to you by Wiffle Ball. Still nothing really happening in sports. We have no live sports going on, so we're kind of just reliving old news. You don't want it? Okay. If you want to know what's going on over the weekend, though, on Sunday night, episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance are on. The focus is expected to be on the 92 Dream Team, which I was very young for, but if any of you don't know what the Dream Team was, it was basically the team responsible for propelling the NBA into the popularity it has now. It was already popular, but it became so much more popular with that team. And if you watch the episodes, you'll probably see why. And on this day in history, there wasn't much going on, actually. You would think May, you're in the middle of baseball season, basketball playoffs, and hockey playoffs normally. Not much, but I do have, in 1991, for any baseball fans, the Athletics outfielder, Hall of Famer Rickey Henderson, stole his MLB record, 939th base. That's right. And he finished his career with 1,406 stolen bases, which is the most all time. Today's trivia is, can you name who's in second place all time with 938 stolen bases?
I have no idea.
Pete Rose.
That's a good guess, but no, it's incorrect. I like the guess. Geronimo, you have any guesses?
I don't know anything about baseball.
All right,
or sports for that matter, really.
Okay. Christy?
Besides that, the Barca is the best soccer team in the world. That's all.
Who's the best soccer team?
Barca, of course.
Okay. I mean,
I'm from Barcelona. What I'm going to say?
Barcelona's the best.
Okay. I don't know enough about La Liga to make a judgment on that. But I know the league.
Joe, what era? Like, are we talking old school?
60s, 70s.
Ricky Henderson.
Well, he is first place.
That's who he just said.
Roy was listening to my report.
Henderson?
It would be hard to get this if you're not really a baseball fan.
Tim Raines?
No, I like the guess, though. He was a Cardinal for the most part.
That guy was a Cardinal?
Yes.
Joe Morgan?
No,
he was a Red. He was a Red. Never mind.
Yeah, I was born in the
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, the correct answer is Lou Brock.
Yeah, I could have sat here all day. That was not going to happen.
Yeah, we would have, and I would have let you sit there all day, but you know.
I'm not sure that's good TV, Joe.
It would have been thrilling TV. I know.
James, smack him, James.
Great. Yeah, it would have been.
All right, Joe. Joy, this day in history. Go for it. Or what happens? What's today about?
So today is May Day. So my question of the day is: if April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring?
Happiness.
June warmth. What is it?
Pilgrims.
Oh, okay.
Here are the other May days. Sorry. On this day, it's National Law Day, where we're recognizing the power of our Constitution and laws. It is National Chocolate Parfait Day. It is also National Mother Goose Day. And it is National Silver Star Service Banner Day to remember all of the veterans who earned the Silver Star in a war or a foreign contact. Yeah. So, and also today is National School Principals Day. So, Mr. Cook, we want to say thank you and recognize you as our high school principal, and really just off the cuff for a minute, just say thank you for leading us through this really uncertain time. I want to personally say I think you're doing a phenomenal job, and you're the right person for this. So thank you for your service to our high school.
Thanks, Joy. That means a lot. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. May 1st, here we are. Here we are. Christy, tell us a little bit about the weather.
Hello. All right. So first, I just want to also echo what Joy said and thank you, Chris, for everything that you've done, especially now you kind of ground us all. This funny morning meeting is a really nice way to kind of start the day and stay connected. I feel more connected to you, Joe and Joy, than ever before. And I really appreciate everything that you've taught us. So the weather today, it is going to rain around 10 o'clock and then take a little break from about 11 to 2, then start raining again. So probably another indoor day. Try to get out around lunchtime, get a few laps in or a nice walk. Tomorrow is going to be beautiful and sunny and 70 degrees. So make sure you are outside and getting some fresh air. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Christy. Maria, so listen, yesterday you talked to us a little bit about jarring tomatoes. And then like almost on as if the universe was speaking to me, I had 3 dozen ball jars arrive to my house because my wife ordered them because we are going to start jarring things apparently. We do tomatoes in August, but it's going to be, I guess, something that she wants to expand on. So thanks for bringing that up. I think it universally dropped a bunch of ball jars at my house. But what's for, Fridays are my favorite, Maria, with you because we get 3 days to hear about for food. So talk to me about what the plan is for food for tonight and for the weekend.
Oh, the weekend, I don't know. I think the weather's supposed to be nice, right? It's supposed to be really nice. So I think we're just probably going to do yard work and maybe barbecue stuff, keep it simple. Yeah, it's going to be weather dependent. Today I'm going to make pesto. I'm going to make pesto chicken for dinner. I know I had mentioned, we have the yarrow garden and there's a lot of pesto on there. There's a lot of basil on there. So I figure I might as well make use of that today.
Hold on, Maria. That just reminds Joe, that's our next sponsor.
Yeah, I got a line of sponsors lined up. They're banging on the door to try and get in to be part of the show, but Aero Garden will be part of it.
Okay.
And I can attest to what Maria is saying. We have a ton of that growing in our Aero Garden, and my wife makes pretty good pesto.
Yeah, so I think I'll make that with chicken tonight for dinner. We have the cherry tomatoes, so I'll throw some of them in, on the side.
Got it.
And, that's pretty much it. And
what are you doing for grocery shopping? What's your go-to place right now? How are you making it happen?
I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. I did go the other day. I did go to Restaurant Depot, which I hadn't gone. Well, I did go about 3 weeks ago there. And some of it's really big quantities, like too big. But it has very good prices. I did get like a dozen of the long cucumbers is $6. So I just kind of gave them to neighbors because I wasn't going to use a dozen of them. Yeah, it has some very reasonable stuff. One of my kids was with me, and I'm not a lobster person. They are lobster. It was lobster crab ravioli. It was actually very, very good. But we did go there the other day. My husband and I went there. And I don't really know. I don't know. He spent $160. I'm not sure what he bought, to tell you the truth. He picked out some meat. He picked out some sausage, some basil. It's like parsley cheese sausage, I believe. In the round. So that's what I'm thinking. Probably make, this weekend if the weather's nice, just throw it on the grill and, grill some sausage. Outside of that, I really haven't been. I've been trying not to go places. Trying not to go. I used to go to ShopRite. I haven't been there in a while. I went to BJ's a couple of weeks ago. I'm really looking forward to like the summer because we pretty much get all our vegetables from the garden. And then I don't really have to worry about any of that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Anyway, thank you to you for being principal too.
Oh, thanks, Maria. I appreciate it. We're having fun. It's all very welcome since being here. It's been, I'm not going to say it's easy. The job's never that easy, but I find it to be very easy because it aligns with kind of my purpose and personality a little bit. And so that makes the work easy. So thanks a lot for being such a great community. And Maria, really appreciate your contributions to this morning meeting every day. So thank you.
Chris, I'd be remiss if I didn't jump in now since I went first. I
was going to say, I was going to bring it up after the fact. But
James is trying to thank you, but he doesn't know how to speak yet. But I would like to thank you as well. Also, fun fact about Chris, he's the only principal that drinks out of a jar. I don't know if you guys
ball jar. I didn't even mention that. It's a ball jar. Love it.
Oh, check it. I got a new mug for you today, too. It's from Curacao.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very fancy.
Yeah. That's where we honeymooned years ago.
Nice.
Anyway, thank you for hosting all these meetings and doing all you do.
We're having fun.
And giving us work.
Yeah, but, gotta make sure you're up by 9 o'clock, Joe. No, all right. So, Geronimo, thank you so much for joining us today. We're gonna have our first kind of longer form interview here today. Geronimo, I've had a couple of opportunities to have some side conversations with you over the last little bit and last couple of years, just really getting to know you a little bit, and still feel there's probably layers and layers and layers that I don't know. And so that's okay because we're gonna have some time together. And today I'm interested in you telling us a little bit about yourself. One of the things I like to do as a principal, and this is something was fortunate to be in a position to start when I was in Boston, which is like a Why I Teach opportunity for staff to come on and talk and really personalize themselves and reveal, hey, I'm a human being. I'm a teacher, but I'm a human being with a story and a set of decisions that I've made in my life. And so I've had a chance at other schools to do this and always felt like it had a really powerful impact. And so you're going to be our first kind of guest to do this. And so I'm going to ask you just to tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us why you're teaching. We'll go back and forth a little bit, but take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your journey.
Okay, I'll make it short. So I'm originally from Barcelona. I went to college for library science. I was going to be a librarian. And then at 21, almost 22, I left Barcelona and I married a Canadian, and I lived in Montreal for 3 years. And then the Canadian got a scholarship at Columbia University, so we came down to Manhattan. I worked at Columbia while I got my undergrad in music, and then we got divorced. And I stayed in Manhattan. I worked at Manhattan School of Music. Then I came to Long Island, and I worked at the Huntington Arts Council as the director of arts and education. And between the Manhattan School of Music, which also was arts and education, and the Huntington job, I got interested into teaching because I would go into classes and then I would see what the teacher would do. And so I got my master's in education and in Spanish. And then I interviewed and I got a job at Hauppauge right out of finishing the master's. So that was very lucky. And does that answer the question?
I think so. I think so. Let me poke a little bit. So what you did, so right away, you got a lot of skill sets. So interested in being a librarian. One would assume you read a lot if you're interested in being a librarian.
I'm an avid reader.
What kind of books do you read? What's your like go-to genre?
Of fiction. All kinds of fiction, but fiction.
For author?
I know it may seem strange, but for example, my husband is an avid reader and he doesn't read fiction. He only reads social studies books, history books. I don't have a unique genre or one author. I have many authors. Besides, I read in 3 languages. So depending on the author of the language, I have, different authors. I do like a lot, and I have a full shelf of literature that's written by immigrant women. I love their literature. So they're all American now because they're all first generation. But either Julia Alvarez from the Dominican Republic, then a few from India, which I can't remember because I can't pronounce their names well. I have some books from different from Korean. So basically, as an immigrant, right, these are stories written by women, show the struggles between the country you come from, with the traditions, with a set of parents, even though my parents are not here, but the idea of what it takes to adapt and to live in 2 worlds, because you do end up living in 2 worlds for the rest of your life. You're not of one or the other, even if I legally became an American this year.
Yes, and I was glad to be a small part of that celebration. We kept it quiet, and then it kind of got ahead of us a little bit there. But that was an awesome moment. When you kind of shared that with us. 3 languages, so Spanish, English, and what?
Catalan is my mother tongue.
Got it.
I grew up bilingual, Catalan and Spanish.
Wow. So when did you learn English?
Well, I learned English in a school, broken English. And there's nothing like, leaving the country and immersing yourself. And then you just really, really learn it. And then at Columbia, before taking courses, we were all international students. I had to take 2 courses to learn how to write proper essays in English, which is great because then now I tell my students, my Columbia teachers told me to do this. Now you can do the same thing in Spanish.
Yeah, that's cool. What a rich set of experiences. Let's think about your career thus far at Hauppauge High School. And so what have been some of the best parts about the experience of working at Hauppauge?
Well, I was very happy to be hired as a middle school teacher, and I really thought I was going to stay in the middle school forever and ever. And my heart is not in San Francisco, but it is in the middle school still. But since that is not going to happen in any near future, but one of the things that at the moment I may not have seen is that I happen to have taught in all 5 schools, and I taught K to 12, except for, funny enough, 8th and 12th grades. I never taught those 2 grades, but I taught everything in between. And so it is something that, even though it's not necessarily possible for everybody, I actually, if it would, I would recommend every teacher to go through all these. It gives you a very different perspective and ideas of how things work and how students learn and how they grow up. by being in all buildings and in all levels.
Yeah, beautiful. So I'd be silly not to mention, you've sent me a couple cooking videos, which I've loved. And cooking has become just a big part of this show. It's, I think, just something people are trying to dive into. I don't know if it's a grounding experience or just that you have more time or what it is. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you have been cooking since we've been away a little bit, and what that's looked like?
Oh, well, I actually got the idea from a teacher I saw in one of the many Spanish teacher Facebook groups. I mean, that her kids really responded well to it. So since we teach every other day, so every other week we have Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I decided, okay, every other Friday I'll do some kind of Spanish dish cooking. So far, I only done two. Of course, I started with the tortilla de patatas because it's like the Spanish, thing that's very easy to make. I have one student follower I know for sure. He tries everything, and he cooks it. He really likes it. So I don't know about more than that. But and then last time I did guacamole with avocados, and then I thought guacamole is very. See, I mean, within 10 minutes you've done, and so I decided to add a brownie recipe that it's done with avocados. Basically, it doesn't have any flour or refined sugar. It happens to be vegan, doesn't have milk. Even though I didn't do it for that reason. I did because, another thing that you can use an avocado with, which, by the way, in Spanish is aguacate, which is a word that comes from the Aztecs language. So, but I have two almost 11-year-old kids. And basically, I get 3 or 4 dishes that I kind of like rotate throughout the week. Try to have at least 5 to 6 days in between the same dish again. And I call it, I put food together more than cooking. I just feed my family.
I love it. I put food together instead of cooking. I like that. That's a phrase. It's good stuff. What has been challenging since you've been away from school? We've been keeping tabs of this. This is our 50th day away from students. 50. It's wild. So what has been challenging in this time away for you?
So I'm gonna be honest, but I'm gonna keep it nice. I feel like more than a teacher, I'm a record keeper and a secretary to 98 students. That's really a lot of the time is invested in this record keeping, making sure that they're doing the work, that they're doing it in sequence the way it's designed to do, and that the slackers are contact first by remind and then call home and keep going back in Google Classroom and checking their work. And yeah, that's I don't know, I have to be honest, that's 90% of my time. That's what I do.
I think that's that's understandable to a degree. I think it's been the ability to kind of check in with students in a classroom. What people often think about, well, it's different for students. The experience is different for students. Yeah, absolutely. But I think what you're pointing out too is like this experience is dramatically different for teachers as well. So where you would be able to do all these things really quickly in a classroom setting, now there's some kind of process that you're gonna have to build and some steps that are a little bit more distant in our familiarity.
It could be done quickly if the students did things on a timely manner, but everybody has its own story, and they don't. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I hear you. Glad to hear about that student following you though on video. We got to get you two cooking together. Maybe we do a Google Meet where we have you cooking and them cooking. We could do something as a follow-up mix. I like that content.
He's a theater kid. I wouldn't be surprised at his game.
All right, let's try to make that a reality. We can talk about that offline. All right, so let's pivot for a second. And what we've been asking a question on, like, what are people finding themselves grateful for during this time period that maybe they didn't normally think about? You could also be grateful for something that you pay attention to regularly too. But just curious, what do you find yourself grateful for?
Well, I definitely have more time to read. And I have time to go for a walk every day for an hour. And the thing is, I do have more time to cook. You know, I've been cooking chicken marsala once a week, and you know, it's not so now. Now that I've done it, I know I'll be able to keep doing it even when I go back to work, right? So yes, I've been able to experiment with cooking a little more, but just, you know, have enough time to do a little of everything. You know, have been able to do the work, but then able to do for walks, be able to do some Netflix, be able to read, like do everything as opposed to just do those on the weekends.
Awesome. And I guess the last formal question, you mentioned you were, earlier we mentioned 3 strands of teaching, so, or of work. So you did, you were interested in being a librarian, so books. You're teaching English and Spanish, and so you're a language teacher. And then you also mentioned being musically inclined.
Yes.
What is your music background?
Okay, I'll confess. So I sang in a choir from age 8 to 18, and then I started taking music lessons to become an opera singer.
Yeah.
And that was my goal for about 20 years, even though it didn't materialize.
Wow. Wow.
The
you
thing is that whenever I say that, then everybody wants me to start singing opera, and I just don't. So that's why I'm hesitant to share that, because then people think that I can just switch and I start singing, you know, I'm belting something, and that just doesn't happen.
All right, so I'll take that cue as to not ask you now to sing a song. I appreciate you saying that. That's good stuff. So listen, really, really, so awesome to have you on and hear a little bit about you as a human being. And I think in this time, it's, yeah, absolutely. It's important for us to learn about people as human beings as much as anything else we could learn about people. So thank you very much for sharing your story. The multifacets of it are really powerful. And I hope students and families and perhaps your colleagues listen to this a little bit and learn a little bit about the depth of you. So thank you, Geronima.
You're welcome.
So we'll finish up here with a round of shout outs to people. And then APs and Maria, if you want to talk a little bit about what you got planned for the weekend too. So shout out and then this weekend, or this weekend and then a shout out, your call. I can start it up. This weekend, just excited to be outside. Been trying to, as much as possible on Saturdays and Sundays, you know, be present with my family and get a couple things done. Really grateful for the opportunity to be with my family and spend that time. Cell phone, is that where's that coming from?
My home. It's
all
the
right.
home phone, but it's probably nothing.
No worries. And then just a shout out. I think I've been super proud and glad to see that our first responders have done an extraordinary job. That Suffolk County, the people of Suffolk County, have taken the government orders to follow kind of expectations really seriously, and we've seen a pretty significant decline recently in impact. However, from my seat, I get to learn about the many ways in which this is impacting our community, and so understand that it's pretty heavy still. Joe Whitehorse, go for it, bud.
Yeah, so I pretty much do this every day, but it has to be continued. It's shout outs to all doctors, nurses, and everyone working in hospitals to help keep people alive and just fighting this on the front lines. There's no way we could thank you enough.
Joy, go for it.
Here we go. So I just want to say to the Hauppauge community that hope cannot be quarantined. You cannot be socially distanced from hope and encouragement. With every storm, the sun comes out when the storm is over. You know, today is a gloomy day, but the hope is that we have a beautiful weekend ahead. So hold on to the positive things, hold on to hope. This will pass, and you are Hauppauge strong. We will get through this.
Cool. Christy, go for it.
Yeah, good morning. I'm very grateful. More grateful now than probably have ever been. I'm grateful for having this job and getting to talk to a really supportive group of people every single day, working with teachers that are doing an amazing job. selfishly, I'm grateful for some extra time with my son, who is going to be leaving me to go to college, hopefully in the fall, and just really getting to take a slower pace, a faster pace and a slower pace. It's a little bit of both, a little bit faster pace as far as work goes, but then a slower pace a little bit on the weekends. There's no hustle and bustle running around. So appreciate, I don't want to say a relaxed feeling, because I feel more anxious than ever, but that hustle bustle and constantly running is really nice to be away from.
Agreed. Thank you. Maria.
Hi. I'm going to give a shout out to my 3 daughters. I think Joy knows. But every week now we're doing like a virtual paint night. One of my daughters lives at home. One's in Long Beach, one's in Somerville. And one of their friends joins in, and we do a paint night. I mean, it's actually Friday nights now, 8 o'clock at night. We'll have some wine, and they look up a YouTube video, and we all sit there and just do a painting. And, it's just a lot of fun.
What an awesome idea. That's really cool. I might try to do that with some family friends tomorrow night, actually. Geronimo, if you want to unmute, I hit a quick mute button, but if you want to unmute and just kind of jump in and give a shout out, go for it.
Yes. Well, first 2 things, I've been dying to answer the following 2 questions that you didn't ask me. Okay. So, hot dogs only with mustard and no bun.
Okay.
And never, ever ketchup on eggs. Never ketchup on anything.
Unbelievable. Wow, the hate of ketchup just came through.
I'm not the only one. I heard another teacher, I can't remember his name. He also said never ketchup. So, anyway, so I'm grateful for my mother. This Sunday in Spain is Mother Day, not the next Sunday. In Spain is the first Sunday of May. And I'm grateful for my siblings who are taking care of my mother. And one also help my students, especially those who really, are helping me feel that what I'm doing is meaningful. And also I would like to just, because I read it somewhere, that instead of social distancing, we should maybe change it to physical distancing, because we don't want to socially distance ourselves. It's really physical distance that we want to keep. So that's my 5 cents.
Beautiful. Geronimo, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody have a wonderful day. Happy May. It is here. And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out, everybody.
Okay, adios. Have a great weekend.
Bye, James.
Bye, James.
See you soon. Want to see the baby?
Yeah, that's him. He's a funny guy.
He is
He's learned how to scream, so that's good.